Hello everybody, we're in week 2 now of term 4 and today we are going to start our term 4 computing unit. So you all blew me away with your amazing work on Scratch last term when we were looking at creating code to get on Scratch to create our sprites to move around. And this term we're going to be focusing on a different unit which we're going to find out more about today. So our unit this term is called We Are Games Testers. So this term we're going to be looking at examples of different computer games. But first of all, I've got some questions for you. What is a computer game? How would you describe to somebody what a computer game is? Can you think of any examples of computer games? And do you play any computer games? So pause the video and see if you can have a think about my 3 questions. Okay, so hopefully you've had a little think about these 3 questions and what you think a computer game is and any examples. So, a computer game is a game which you would play on a computer, such as a video game. So we're thinking specifically at the moment about computer games. So a game you would play on a computer, and you might use the keys on your keyboard, a mouse, or sometimes you can plug in a controller to help you play these games. So I know that lots of you might play games, for example, on a phone. Maybe you play them on a tablet or an iPad or a console. But for the purpose of this unit, we're thinking specifically about computer games. So they are games that we said you can play on a computer. And we're going to be looking at computer games that have been made using Scratch. So, can you remember what Scratch is? What could we do on Scratch? See if you can have a little think. So hopefully you've remembered that on Scratch we can program our sprites and for different things to happen, and we can do that by writing a set of code. So we're going to be using our learning from last term, as we know a lot about Scratch now, and we're going to be looking at examples of games that have been made using Scratch, and we're going to test them out and see what we think. So, like when we programmed our rockets to move across the screen, games developers, so they're the people that make the games, need to think really carefully about the algorithms for the game. They will think about what they would like to happen in the game, so what's the game going to be about, and then they need to write the program so that people like us can actually play the games. So there's a lot of different jobs that are involved in making these games. And here is a screenshot that I have taken off of Scratch. Can you remember what they're called? What did we say that these different things are called? Hopefully you remembered that they're the different blocks, and we use our blocks to piece together to create our set of code. And we talked about how we can use the different coloured blocks because they each have a specific purpose. For example, the blue ones are motion, purple are looks, we've got sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and then other blocks as well. So we're going to look at how these game producers have used Scratch and the different blocks to write the algorithms to be able to play the different games. So, as we are going to be game testers, we need to think first of all, what is a game tester and what do you think this role involves? What does a game tester do? So like before, pause the video and have a think about these questions. Okay, so hopefully you've figured out that a games tester is somebody who tests the games. They see whether they are good, what they like about the games, does anything need improving, what could be changed. They think about how the game works. Is it suitable? What age range is the game suitable for? There are lots of jobs that are involved, and we're going to think about exactly what they do. So first of all, a games tester will play different games. So they will be playing lots of different games before they're released so that people like us can play them. So they're the people that experiment with them really and see what they think. They will make predictions about the games. So when they're playing, they will try and figure out what are the rules to be able to play the game. What happens if you lose the game, or what happens if something goes wrong on the game, and they are the people that will make these predictions about how the game works. And again, like I said, they'll think about the rules so that we know how to play. They'll suggest improvements, so what could be done better to make the game even better. And then they will explain how the game works. And these are just some of the jobs that a games tester would do, because before a game is released for us to play, they will need to test it, see what they think, is it suitable to be released, and then there'll probably be lots of improvements that are made. So they might suggest an improvement, they'll change it, they'll play the game again, and then they might notice something else that needs to be improved. So it's quite a long process. So today, your job is we're going to look at a game on Scratch called Addition Race, which I'm going to show you on the screen. And then there's also a link for you to be able to play it at home. And I want us to think about these questions now. There's quite a few, so I'll read them, we'll look at the game, and then we'll come back to the questions. So how do we play the game? What is happening? Where do we put our answer? What happens if you get the answer correct? What happens if you get the answer wrong? What happens at the end of the game? And how do you win? Okay, so I've got the game open here, which you can do following the exact same link that I've put on. And then we can see it says in the instructions, green flag to start. So I'm going to press the green flag to start. And I can press this button here to put it into full screen control. Okay, so before we start playing the game, I just want you to have a look what you can see on my screen. What do you think we need to do to play this game? What do you see is happening? I can see that this blue rabbit here is running across the screen. And they've got to the end, which looks like a finish line, as we know that the game is called Addition Race. And then there's this yellow one here. And before, if I press the green flag again, we can see it's coming up with a number sentence. What is 1 add 1? Can you see where I would need to put my answer? Hopefully you've noticed we type it in here. So if I put 2 and press the enter bar, what happened to my yellow rabbit? He moved forwards. Let's put in the next answer. We can see each time we put in the correct answer, it comes up saying yes. And then my rabbit runs forwards. And we know that it's a race. So how do you think we would win this game? As we can see, the blue rabbit's now about to cross over the finish line. And then the game ends. So how do we win? Now he says you lose. So hopefully you thought that the way we would win is we need to be super speedy with putting our answers in and pressing the enter bar to go on to the next number sentence, and hopefully we would get the yellow rabbit to cross the finish line first. So we know that we play by starting to press the green flag to show that we want to start the game, and the purpose of the game is to beat the blue rabbit, and we need to put in the answer to the number sentence and press enter. We could see on the screen where it says what is happening that as soon as we start the game, the blue rabbit starts running towards the finish line. And we need to get the yellow rabbit to move by using our math skills. We talked about how we put the answer in the bottom box here. We can see there's a space for us to type using the numbers on our keyboard. What happened if we got an answer correct? What can you see comes up if I get the answer correct? Did you see? Hopefully you spotted it came up saying yes really quickly to show that the answer was correct, and then it showed the next number sentence. What happens if I get the answer wrong? What did it say if I get the answer wrong? Hopefully you spotted it says no. It shows you it was wrong, and then it gives you another number sentence to have a go at. What happens at the end of the game? Let's watch. The rabbit goes towards the finish line. Once both of his legs cross over the finish line, what does it say? It says, you lose, and it shows us that the rabbit beat us. And then I would like you to experiment and see if you can get the yellow rabbit to win and see what happens. So the purpose of today's lesson is I would like you to be a games tester. You're going to experiment with this game and you're going to think about the jobs of a game tester. So you're going to play this game for today. You're going to make predictions. You're going to think about the rules of the game. How does it work? What could be done to make the game better? And can you explain to somebody else how the game works? So perhaps you can get your adults at home or your siblings involved, but before they play, can you explain to them the rules? Can you explain to them how to play? And I look forward to hearing what you think of the game. So have fun, everybody, and enjoy being a games tester. Bye.